Do you ever feel mentally exhausted because your mind will not stop racing from thought to thought to thought? Or do you feel just so overwhelmed that you feel stuck? Don't worry, you're not alone. This is anxiety. Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and co-owner of Elevated Therapy. We're here to share videos with you that can help you therapeutically elevate your mental health. So today we're going to be talking about anxiety, and I'm going to be teaching you some of my go-tos, my number one go-to to help my clients with their anxiety, and that is grounding techniques. So make sure that you like and subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any of our videos that could help you elevate along with us. Now, there's 3 different areas of grounding techniques that I'm going to play around with. There is mental grounding, there is physical grounding, and then there's soothing grounding. We're going to do just a couple of each of one of them so that way you can kind of experience it and feel it. Let's start with mental grounding. Think of a category, something you can keep going off the cuff with, something that's more in your wheelhouse. Maybe you know all the states. Maybe you can name all the different shows on Netflix or books that you've read, or I'm going to do dog breeds. So if I was feeling really intense emotions right now and I needed to ground myself into the present moment, I would think about dogs, Chihuahuas, Poodles, Dobermans, Rottweilers, Bichons, Shih Tzus, and I would keep going and going and going. What happens is I'm hyper focusing. My brain cannot think of anything else in that moment. I will say, when I've done this with other clients, sometimes they will say, oh, I know the song to the States. You can't do that. The only way this technique will work is if you are hyper focusing. Can't do memorization. Memorization is a different part of the brain than when you're hyper focusing. The only way this works is when you hyper focus, it's going to detach from that emotion for you. So, categories is number 1. Let's try another mental grounding. How about sequencing? So if I was to do something in order, say I'm going to make a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm going to think of every single step along the way. First, I grab my pan. Then I turn the stove on with my right hand, probably turn it to like medium high. Then I get my bread out, grab a plate. Then I would separate the bread, take 2 pieces out, grab the butter from the fridge. You get what I'm saying. When we do something in a sequence, our brain has to focus on what's the next step, then what comes after that. The more detail, the better to hyper focus so you're actually visualizing it. And these things will help you de-escalate. Let's move into physical grounding. Physical grounding, I can physically push my heels into the ground and then I would hyper focus on how my body responds. If I push my heels into the ground, I can feel how it gets my calves really tight, how my thighs get tight from pushing my heels into the ground, how I really need a better seat with cushions. That's why I'm always adjusting myself. But the back of the arch is great. So I'm just hyper focusing how my body is feeling, and I'm really tuning into that response that my body's giving me. Okay. Another one for physical grounding is grab an object. Anything around you, you can hyper focus on. So say closest thing next to me, I have a pencil. I'm going to focus on the details of anything that I grab. What is the different textures, the weight, the temperature? So right now, my pencil, I can feel the ridges along the pencil. I can feel the difference in the texture of the metal part. It's got like a dented, I can feel the ridges around the edges of it. And it's cooler to the touch than this. And then also I can feel the sponginess of the eraser. So again, I'm really hyper focusing on whatever's around me. I had a client in a session one time and she was having a panic attack. Closest thing to her was her cat. Hyper focus on the cat and then use your senses. What do you feel? You feel the softness of the fur. You feel the difference in the texture of the whiskers. You hear the cat's purring. You can smell the cat. You use all of your senses and you can ground yourself in that. So last but not least is soothing grounding. Soothing grounding is everything that makes you feel good. So I can just go off on a tangent of everything that makes me feel good. What's my favorite ice cream? Favorite place to vacation? What's my favorite show, character, episode? I can just keep going on and on and on, and it's going to distract my mind and make me feel good while I'm doing it. Another one for soothing is using visualization. So it can be a real place or it can be a completely made up place. Now, when you're using visualization, you're going to use all of your senses. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What can you taste? What can you smell? Using all of your senses when you're using that visualization, because that's what's going to anchor you down into the present moment. So if I was to say the beach, I see the waves crashing. I see the sun that's setting down. I can feel the warmth of the sun on my skin. I can feel the grittiness of the sand between my toes. I can smell the salt in the air. I can hear the waves crashing and the birds cawing. I can maybe taste a pina colada. Who knows? So if you're doing visualization and say you can't think of a smell or a taste in that moment, then supplement it with what smell or taste makes you feel good, makes you feel calm in that moment, and that will work. Another strategy is where you use your senses. It's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. You're going to identify 5 things that you see, 4 things that you feel, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Here's an added bonus grounding technique. It's called the rainbow technique. You look around the room. What's everything that's the color red? What's everything that's the color orange? By the time that you're done with the rainbow, you'll be de-escalated. I hope that you enjoyed our grounding techniques today, the mental, the physical, and the soothing. Let us know in the comments. What are the ones that you really enjoyed? What were the ones that you have used and really worked for you in helping you stay centered and present in the moment when you felt that you were under distress? If you're interested, you can leave your email address and I can go ahead and send you a more in-depth list of all of the different examples from each of those categories, because there's just so many. This video would be forever long if I did all of them. So let us know in the comments. Make sure that you like and subscribe so that way you can stay in tune with all of our therapeutic videos that is going to help you elevate along with us. Have a great one.